Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that intro! Edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This is the third of 4 Christmas episodes, and just as I promised at the end of last week's episode, I was going to wear a Comic Hero tee that was similar to an ugly Christmas sweater, but except it wasn't going to be ugly, and here it is. I call this the Handsome Christmas Long Sleeve Comic Hero tee. And inside the speech bubble you have a candy cane pattern, and you also have the candy cane pattern on the sleeves. And I want y'all to see something. I don't know if y'all will be able to see this, but of course there's the word mark, and right in between it, a Christmas wreath. Thought I'd show that to y'all. Put a lot of thought into this shirt, and I hope y'all like it. And next week I'm going to wear another Christmas Comic Hero tee, and it's going to be the one that I wore in the Christmas College Football Playoff Mashup episode from last year. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, on last week's episode, I asked which Marvel character was created by a reader named Randy Schuler and bought by Marvel for $220 after sending Schuler a letter to acquire the idea. Now, I gave some hints on last week's episode. Now, the first hint was that this character debuted at the very end of The Amazing Spider-Man number 299 in 1988. The second hint, Eddie Brock, Flash Thompson, and Frank Fortunato have all taken up the mantle of this character. And then a third hint was that there was a movie about this character in 2018 that starred Tom Hardy. Now, I also gave another hint on social media. Now, this hint, the name of this character is also a poison that is secreted by animals like scorpions, spiders, and bees, and injected into their prey. Well, the correct answer is venom. And 6 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, the names are in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Devin Fall from Lafayette, Louisiana. So congratulations, Devin. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a DC question. True or false? Wonder Woman was originally named Suprema. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. All right, now Mike Hart from Monroe, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features a classic Superman character going up against a character that's gone up against Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. Recently, Spider-Man. Representing DC, we have Toyman. And representing Marvel, we have the Sin Eater. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Toyman versus Sin Eater. Toyman possesses incredible technological expertise and inventiveness and specializes in robotics, though he has shown expertise in biological weaponry. Despite the childish motive which he usually insists on incorporating, Toyman's creations are incredibly sophisticated and deadly. In addition, most of his inventions have an innocuous or even comical appearance that causes opponents hesitation or confusion, often to their regret. Sin Eater is an expert hand-to-hand combatant and skilled marksman who possesses heightened strength, agility, stamina, and reflexes, a double-barrel shotgun, and a special gun that removes powers and destroys sins. Who will win? To say Toyman would be toying with Sin Eater is putting it lightly. Toyman would send an army of flesh-eating, chattering teeth at Sin Eater. The latter thinks this is a ruse until the teeth begin to attack him at the legs. Toyman then approaches Sin Eater while making a hand-grasping gesture. Sin Eater, barely conscious, then aims his shotgun at Toyman and blasts him to pieces. Sin Eater thinks the fight is over until a real Toyman Winslow's shot comes out of nowhere. He grabs Sin Eater's shotgun and says, "You're not so frightening without your sin-killing gun." Sin Eater then replies, "That's the wrong gun." He then grabs the other gun, shoots shot, removes every sin he's ever committed, and ends the fight by punching him right between the eyes. Sin Eater wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Thank you, Mike Hart, for that fight. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll have another one for next week. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are two things I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is a follow-up of a story that I covered episodes ago. Now, I said that there was going to be a story where, a story where in DC where there was going to be a black Batman. We found out that's going to be part of DC's future state line of comics coming next month. We found out that the next Batman is black, and it is the son of Lucius Fox. No, it's not Luke Fox, it's Tim Fox, his other son. Now, oh, by the way, I just want to go ahead and say this. A lot of folks think that Lucius Fox was created for the Batman movies that were directed by Christopher Nolan. That is not true. Lucius Fox actually made his debut in Batman number 307 in 1979. And, of course, now, I've never really heard of Tim Fox. I've only heard of Lucius's other children, Luke and then Tamara Fox. And I'm really intrigued, and I can't wait for the future state line of comics to start coming out next month. Now, because of this, DC is going to put a halt on all the regular monthly books for 2 months, and this future state is going to cover the months of January and February. Really looking forward to it, and there's some other books that I'm really looking forward to in that line, and I can't wait to read that one and then the rest of them as well. All right, now the second thing is that last week, and this was one of the talks in terms of entertainment last week, the Walt Disney Company announced an assortment of Marvel spin-offs, movies, and shows on Investors Day, and they're going to start off next, and of course this is all going to start next year. Now, I'm not going to name all of them that are coming, but I'm going to name a few of them. The first one is Secret Invasion, starring Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as Talos the Skrull. And then the next one, and this was huge. This is a movie. There's going to be a Fantastic Four movie reboot, and it's there have been talks about it for a long time, but we found out that it's really happening, and it's going to be directed by John Watts. Now, of course, John Watts directed Spider-Man: Far From Home. And let me tell you, if Watts is directing this, it's going to be full of action and full of a lot of humor. And when I think of Fantastic Four, I don't think of anything less. Now, he didn't reveal who was going to be casted, or who was writing the script, or any other thing concerning the movie. But he did say this. He said Dr. Doom will not be the villain that they face. And you know what I say to that? Good. Because Dr. Doom, that's something that 20th Century Fox kept getting wrong. They kept saying that, they kept putting Dr. Doom in the movie, and that's wrong. So more than likely, but here's the thing: in the comics, the first villain the FF faced was Mole Man. So it wouldn't surprise me if they go that route. If they do, good. Oh, and by the way, Secret Invasion, I think that's going to deliver. I mean, especially if Samuel L. on Disney Plus. I mean, come on. I mean, the guy kills in just about every role he's ever played, and then especially with Nick Fury since 2008. So let's go. All right, now another, and then also episodes ago I had said that there's going to be an Ironheart series coming to Disney Plus. Now Ironheart again is Riri Williams, who at one point taken on the mantle of Iron Man after Tony Stark was presumed dead, and she's a teenage girl who was super smart, an MIT student who ended up getting temporarily kicked out because she had used some of Tony Stark's armor, but then she gets reinstated after she helped save the world. Well, we found out that the actress that has been cast in the lead role is Dominique Thorne. Now I don't know very much about her, but I do believe she's gonna. I do believe that she's gonna deliver. Just give her a good script and great production, and watch the sparks fly. All right. And also, I reported a while back that there's gonna be a Hawkeye series coming to Disney Plus. That's going to star Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton and Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop. We find out there's going to be another beloved Marvel character that's going to be in it, and it's going to be Echo, and she's going to be played by deaf Native American actress Alaqua Cox. Now, I don't know much about her, but I do believe that she's going to deliver, and we'll see. All right, and I'm so pumped about this. There's going to be a What If animated series coming to Disney Plus. Now, What If is based on the popular Marvel comic series that talks about what would have happened if, which pretty much takes like certain things that have happened in the Marvel universe and give a different spin on it according to the Watchers. Now, it's going to star Uatu the Watcher, and it's going to feature a lot of the characters. I think one is going to be what if Peggy Carter had taken a super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers, and I saw the trailer to it and I was completely blown away. And then another one is going to be what if T'Challa had become a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I think that's going to be great. Can't wait to watch. I'll let y'all know a little something else about the What If comic series. I mean, there were a lot of What If stories. I actually have an issue of What If, and that's what if Flash Thompson had become Spider-Man. And then there have been several others, like what if Wolverine and Magneto had formed the X-Men, what if Aunt May had died instead of Uncle Ben, and another one, and what if Civil War, what if Avengers versus X-Men, what if Secret Wars. I mean, I can just go on and on. But if this series is, I believe this series is just going to be as good, if not better, than the original comic series, and I can't wait to watch. All right, and then the final thing, and this is in terms of the sequel to Captain Marvel. Now, Teyonah Parris has been casted as Monica Rambeau and Spectrum in Captain Marvel 2. Now, you're probably wondering who is Monica Rambeau. If you watch the first Captain Marvel series, she was the little girl she was the daughter of one of Carol's friends who she was in the U.S. Air Force with. Well, and of course that movie takes place in throughout the 90s, and now we see her as a full-grown adult with powers. And of course, Spectrum has been a part of the Marvel universe for a very long time, and I mean, wow, Marvel has really, I think just about everything that they're doing is going to be great. Now, say what you will about Fantastic Four. I believe, with John Watts directing this, he's really going to do the FF some justice that 20th Century Fox could not do. And for him to say that Doctor Doom is not going to be the villain in it, all I have to say about that is, let's go! Alright, that's it for Comically Speaking. So let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is the Amazing Spider-Man number 54. Captain Marvel number 24. Champions number 2. Detective Comics number 1030. Detective Comics number 1031. Detective Comics number 1032. Guardians of the Galaxy number 8. Guardians of the Galaxy number 9. Justice League number 56. Marauders number 16. Endless Winter Superman Special. Sword number 1. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 112. Thor number 10. Venom number 31. Wonder Woman number 768. And finally, X Factor number 5. All right, that's 17, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 10,338. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. True or false? Wonder Woman was originally named Suprema. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Devin Fall from Lafayette, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this week's episode. All right, there's one more Christmas episode, and it's next week. And of course, I'm going to make it big. I mean, it's going to be great. I may even have this desk even decked out even more than I have in this episode and the last 2 episodes. I mean, who knows? And then after that, the year-end episode is going to be a college football playoff episode. Now, this will be the first time since I started doing episodes here that I'm going to do a standalone episode. Now, last year, it was a college football playoff Christmas mashup episode, and I did this because I'd forgotten that, because I wasn't sure when the college football playoffs were about to begin, but then I found out, I'm like, uh-oh. So this will be the very first episode where I'll do a standalone college football playoff episode, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now the race is kind of tight right now, and and there's just no way of knowing who's in. But after next week's episode, I should know. All right, and just remember, Christmas is a time of giving. And it's not, and it doesn't mean giving to yourself. It means giving to others. But here's the thing about giving to others. We should do that every day. We shouldn't have to wait for a holiday to come in order to do that. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's true. We really need to start being good to each other. I mean, now with Christmas, granted, that's when we want to try harder. But you should try hard every day. Life's too short to be self-preserving, and I've done the same, and I've been doing the same for years, and I'm going to continue to do it until I'm no longer here. All right, I don't really ask this very often, but do you have any suggestions? Anything that you think that'll make the show better? Feel free to let me know. Any positive ideas never fall upon deaf ears with me. Never. All right, I'm Victor Nutley on a Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 338, the final Christmas episode of 2020. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.